an amazingly full crowd here tonight. You guys look wonderful. This is exciting. We've got superstar students, we've got parents, teachers, elected officials, sponsors, community members, and volunteers for our 35th annual Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance Youth Recognition Night. So this is my first year doing this. I'm Teresa Bills, and I'm the co-chair along with Jeannie. Where's Jeannie Prairie here on the end? I was asked to take over when the amazing Miss Fran, everybody knows Miss Fran? Please wave, Miss Fran. Miss Fran stepped down this year, and so, you know that word voluntold, right? So I think that's kind of like, we think you'd be good at this, Teresa, so I'm like, well, I will try to do an excellent job like Fran did, but it has been a challenge here. So tonight we're going to shine a light on the accomplishments of 189 students, and they're going to get recognized throughout the evening. Don't panic, it's not going to take all night. We've got a really good way of doing this. You're going to hear stories and descriptions of what these kids did. Every one of their stories represents a glimpse into each child's heart. And I don't think they did these things because they expected to be recognized for doing them. I think they did them because they just wanted to do them, or they felt led to do them, or it was the right thing to do, or some other personal reason. They would do these things whether they were recognized or not. And that's one of the many reasons I'm excited about tonight and recognizing these kids. I think you're going to be impressed with all the things that you're going to hear, and knowing that these young people who are so selfless are part of our Brandon Schools community is really a cause for celebration. So to kick off the night, it's my pleasure to introduce Ortonville VFW Post 582 Commander Dennis Hoffman to lead us in the pledge. The flag is right here.
Everyone would rise and place their hand over their heart. Raise the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
I want to thank Teresa, first of all, for jumping in this year and helping out. It's a big job. Basically, there are two of us until we get to the end of it, although Teresa had a lot of help in her office. She was Angela was awesome. She helped us a lot. I've been doing it for 50 years, but my end of it, I got down pat. Her end of it, not so much, so she had to jump into the scratch and learn, and she's done a great job. I want to start by thanking everybody on the first page, inside page of the program. I think that all of these people...
Keep your mic close to your mouth. You just got to put it close to your mouth.
Normally I have such a good mouth.
I don't know. It wasn't working. I thought maybe she just had to close enough.
Okay.
Oh, you're good.
Thank you. So every year, one of the things that I do is contact elected officials, all the way from the United States representative down to governor, state level, county level, and local level. And every single year, they come through for us. Their aids are phenomenal. I hope every one of you here appreciates your aids because they do it for us every single year. 189 kids. Last year, I think we had 190 some, and they still do it and get these certificates to us in time. Over 3,000 and some certificates that we have to sort out. So it's amazing, and I just want to go through and thank everyone who did it. This year, it's United States Representative Alyssa Slotkin from District 8, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, Michigan Treasurer Rachel Eubanks, State Senator Ruth Johnson, District 14, State Representative John Riley, District 46, Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter, Oakland County Board of Commissioners, Mike Spitz is District 3, and Bob Huckins District 2, Oakland County Clerk Register of Deeds, Lisa Brown, Oakland County Treasurer, Robert Wittenberg, Oakland County Prosecutor, Terry McDonald, Oakland County Sheriff, Michael Bouchard, Brandon Township Board of Trustees, Groveland Township Board of Trustees, Groveland Village Council, Edinburgh Senior Center, and Brandon Road Village Assistance. So when the kids come up, and that's one of the things I want to mention real quick too. We have a packet of certificates of gift day for each time. And some of you have been nominated more than one time. So the first time you come up, you'll receive your certificates and your gift day. But the next time you come up to be recognized for another activity, you will get a second gift day and certificates, just so you know. You get it the first time that you're up here. I want to recognize everyone that's here tonight that we've invited to be here. From U.S. Representative Alyssa Slotkin's office, we have Laura Murphy, Oakland County Field Representative. Laura? Oh, what the newbies don't know is that every time the kids come up, they have to stand up and shake their hands. So by the end of the night, they're probably out of here. Michigan's Treasurer Rachel Eubanks, and I love this. This is Robin Locke. Robin is the administrator of State Bureau Administrator for the Office of Post-Secondary Financial Planning. How would you like to put that on it? Thank you. So first time we've ever recognized Michigan State Senator, I think you all know Ruth Johnson. She's been the last one, she's the last one on here. I have to warn my husband not to get too chatty with her. Oakland County Clerk, Lisa Brown. Another first liner, Oakland County Commissioner, District 2, Bob Hoffman. Grand Township Supervisor, Jason Rumble. Sitting in the audience somewhere is Rosalind Blair. She's the lead clerk of Grand Township. Rosalind, would you stand up? Okay, thank you. You're so short, it's hard to tell. Grand Township Trustee David Palmer is out there. Grand Township Trustee and former Supervisor Kathy Thurman. Up on stage, Groveland Township Supervisor Bob DePalma. Everybody knows that I don't think Bob's missed one of these yet. It was really funny, a few years ago when his little granddaughter was one of the honorees. He was grinning from ear to ear. Groveland Township Clerk Patty Back is here. And Groveland Township Treasurer, of course, Teresa Bills, who's our representative. Village Manager, I haven't met yet, Ryan Mattis. Village Township President Tanya Rice is down here. I just I have to tell you, this is a trick. When these kids start marching down these steps, Tanya gets them their certificates, and Fran's going to help her tonight with the gift bags. One year, Tanya went home sick. I tried to pick her place. I ended up throwing the certificates on the table and saying, "Dig through and find them." She's got it down to a science. I couldn't do it. Village Council Trustee Pat George is here. Orville Village Council Trustee Melanie Nanel is here also. From the Brandon School District, we have everyone's favorite. Where are you at here, Daniel? Oh, Brandon High School Principal Dan Stevens. President of the School Board, Diane Salter. Brandon High School Vice President, Megan Kozlowski. Representing the WASTE program is Lynn Morset here tonight. She's just a really nice lady. She's just very nice. And do I have anyone else here who didn't sign in from the school district? Any schools at all? Wave a hand, somebody point. Okay.
We got a couple.
Who?
Diane's at the end. Diane's at the end.
Diane, you did.
Coy Stewart.
Diane's not signed in. Diane, where are you? I know she's here, right? Up here on stage, we have our featured speaker tonight is Justin Quisenberry. Justin, get up here. You were in yellow, you're supposed to be up here.
Find my family.
From VFW Commander Dennis Hoffman. Detective Jason Smith, our new liaison officer. He may have to slip out, he's on duty, so it's not like, don't worry if you see him running out the door, just that's your word. Our Brandon Township Fire Chief, David Columbus. Coordinator Kay Benedict. And then I'm going to turn it over to the chairman of Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance, our former fire chief, Bob McCarthy.
Just absolutely spectacular. We have had good crowds before, but nothing that can compare to this, that's for sure. A little closer. The Youth Recognition Committee, the chairperson was Teresa Bills, who we've met already, and with her first year stepping into Fran's shoes, and what a great job she's done. Very difficult job to step into. The co-chair, Jean McCurry, I believe it's your 9th year. 15. Other members of the committee was Angela Grogan, Tanya Bryce, myself, Karen MacArthur, Diane Zidane, Sean Van Slambrock. And she's the one that's responsible for that slideshow you're watching, and along with Rachel Davis, which is absolutely great. A lot of work to do that. And last but not least, Mike McCurry. He's drug along by Jeannie. You know that? The treat bags that the students are going to get, all those treats in there have been donated. And I'm going to go through the list relatively quick. We want to get to the kids. Kaz Fish Fund and Kaz's Fun Fish. You'll see the brochure when you get in there. Check out his website. Fran Hotchkiss, Jane McCurry, Friends of the Library, Ortonville A&W, Ortonville DDA, Jason Rumble Law, Jenny Yon, Lynette Kelly, Mary Staten, Karen MacArthur, Groveland Township, Diane Zidane, McDonald's, and Beaky's. So it's a pretty good bag that's put together. And I'm sure later on you'll be explained how that happened and who did it. Also on the setup for tonight, Shelby Stewart, Jeannie and Mike, Jay Geary, Burkett, Jackie Long, Tanya Bryce, Karen MacArthur, and if I missed anybody, just let me know afterwards as usual. The vases and the labels were provided by Leah Reinhardt, Jennifer McGlasson, Elizabeth Reed, Esther Scheide, and Brian Kramer. The BGYA and Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance is made up of an executive board, which I'm chairman. Vice chair is Jane Geary Coquette, and would you just stand when you do that? And we don't need to applause for us because I want to go through them. She's back in the corner. Treasurer Lynette Kelly, and I think she's back in the other corner. The secretary is Shelby Stewart Sanda, and she's over in the other corner. The caseworker secretary is Mary Staten, and she's in the corner. I don't know how these folks ended up in corners. Our directors are Fran Hodgkiss, Judy Miracle, where you at, Joe? Okay. Matt Jenkins, Diane Zidane, Jason Rumble, Scott Broughton, Teresa Bills, and our student council liaison is Lucas Lansky. And our caseworker, Reagan Rockwell. She's the rock of the organization, along with the school administration and the Oakland County Sheriff and the families supporting our kids. The bases, they're definitely going to get more information on it. They were donated by Jimmy McCurry and crew. You have an opportunity to take one with you, and later on they'll explain to you how that can happen with donations. Also, at the end of the night, don't leave here without a long sign. When it gets all over, everybody has a tendency to want to pack up and go, but they're at the exits. They'll check you off and get you out of here as soon as they can. But don't leave without that sign. We appreciate that. With that, I'm going to turn it over back over to Teresa. I did miss one, which is, for me, only missing one is spectacular. Because it's, if you're around me very often, you catch on for sure to that. But I was telling you about Reagan Rockwell being our caseworker, along with the deputies and the sheriff's department. Reagan's chief is Mary Schusterbauer. And she's here someplace. She's the leader of Oakland County Youth Assistance, who we work out of underneath the Oakland County Court, Family Court. And she's our leader. She's Reagan's boss, and a great person who is going to retire for too long. And we'll miss her.
Okay, so welcome all of you who have made the evening your priority to congratulate all of these kids. I have the privilege of introducing our guest speaker. He's a graduate of Brandon Schools, class of 2000. He went on to graduate from West Point and then entered the U.S. Army, serving as an infantry officer for the 173rd Airborne from 2004 to 2012. Completed 3 combat tours in Afghanistan as a platoon leader, executive officer, and company commander. Received 3 Bronze Stars and Meritorious Service Medal before leaving the military. He graduated from University of Michigan with a master's in business administration and joined General Motors, where he's an analytics manager. He's married and has 4 children who keep him very busy. Would you please welcome Mr. Justin Quisenberry.
Can you guys hear me? I started off back there and I could hardly hear anything, so I'm going to try to talk very loud. Thank you for the very kind introduction, Teresa. I've been introduced like that before, and it always feels very awkward because the person you described, they sound awesome, and that doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel like me. It feels like you're talking about a different person. I'm just a regular guy, works at GM. I have a family who I love. I live nearby the area, and I watch the Tigers, and I hate it when it snows in April. Just like the rest of you, right? And there was a similar introduction, and I had to give a similar speech a few years ago when I was inducted into the Distinguished Graduate Hall of Fame. You guys probably know it. It's the main entrance when you walk in this building. All of our pictures are up for doing various important things for our community. And at the same time that I was inducted then, I thought the same thing as I'm thinking now. Why me? Just a regular guy. I joined the Army and I went to war, just like a handful of us did. Really not that big of a deal. But then every now and then I talk to my wife and she reminds me that some of the things I've done are actually pretty unique and noteworthy. And she's right. I went to West Point. I graduated Ranger School, graduated Airborne School. I deployed to Afghanistan 3 times. I eventually left the Army. And I'm going to be honest, I miss it terribly. And I don't miss the Army because I miss the combat. I don't miss the fighting. And I don't miss any of the accolades that I achieved that were just mentioned when I was introduced. I miss the people. The people that I spent my life with, my 20s, were some of the best people I've ever met in the world. And it wasn't just because they were great people. It was because we were together. We counted on one another. We lived every minute of every day together for months, sometimes years. And whether we lived or died, whether we succeeded, survived, or made it back home, was completely dependent on whether we were willing to put the team, the group, the family above ourselves. And that was a very, very different way to live. I spent 3 years of my life spending every minute with people who I loved and putting them above me just in order to stay alive. And I realized after I left, that's not very common. A lot of people don't live that way. And to be honest, when me and a handful of my friends who left the Army, we kind of scattered to the winds and all went our separate ways, we got out into the world and we realized that it's just not like that elsewhere. And there's good people in the world. They're working hard and they're trying their best and they're doing what they can to achieve. But when other people outside of this team that I was in try to achieve, it's like they're climbing a ladder and they're trying their best to get to the top. But they never look to the left or the right to see if their friends or their family or their teammates are coming along with them. It's just a foreign concept to much of America. And so when I left the Army, people asked me, so Justin, where are you going to go? You know, maybe go to New York. It's a great town, and you can make a killing in finance. No thanks. Why don't you go to Austin or Atlanta? You know, good towns with a lot of jobs. In the South, the weather's a little bit warmer. No, I'm not going there either. I said, where are you going to go? Going back to Michigan. I said, what was the name of your hometown anyways? Horton? Horton? That sounds real. That sounds like it's not real. That's how you know it's real, I promise you. And it's the only other place in the world I've ever been where people consistently put the community above themselves. And I'm proud to call this home, and I'm proud that you guys selected me to be your guest speaker. Sometimes even I forget what it's like to be from a town like this and a member of a community like this. But anytime I ever need to be reminded, I come to Brandon High School, maybe I'm bringing my kids to a basketball game. I walk through the main entrance, even though I try to avoid that entrance a lot of times. I have a tendency to walk through that main entrance and I look at all of the pictures on the wall. One of those is mine, I don't look at that one. But I look at some of the others. One of them that always stands out to me is the picture of Matt Lentz. You guys probably know him, he's a pretty famous guy. He played football here. He played with me actually. He was a little better, just a little. But he went on to play at University of Michigan all 4 years. He started for 3 of them, and then he went on to the NFL. And he reached the pinnacle of his career by reaching the highest league in the most important and famous sport in America. And that's why he was honored, and that's why he was put on that wall in the entrance of this building. And what's funny, or ironic anyways, is that that's not what I'm most proud about with Matt Lentz. After he was put on the wall for his achievement in football, playing in the NFL, that gentleman could have done anything he wanted in life, could have gone anywhere in life. Coached at any level, coached anywhere, played at any level. And he eventually came back and coached at Brandon. And I never asked him why he came back, but I think I know the answer. Also on that wall, I'm just going to go through a couple of folks who stand out and are meaningful to me. Also on that wall is a gentleman named Tim Purdy, law enforcement officer. He graduated ahead of us in high school. Unlike me and Matt, he never came back to this community. He moved on and he lives in the Carolinas. But one, he's special to me because he's a law enforcement officer and he spends his career serving others. Two, more importantly, around a few years ago, around the time when it became very common for police interactions to be recorded and played all over the internet in negative light, he quickly became famous for a very opposite sort of reason. One of his interactions was videotaped and recorded and went viral on the internet for a positive reason. He was able to kind of de-escalate a situation that could have easily turned terrible and turned violent. And he did it just by being a professional and being a compassionate human. I'm proud to be on the same wall as he is. A couple others, I think you guys, probably everybody in this town know the Cooks Farm Dairy. They've been a pillar in this community since before I was born. And I think I am not going out on them by saying this. Every single family who's ever lived in Ortonville has been brought at least a little bit of joy from the Cooks. Right? And that's the community we live in, and those are the people that make up this community. And they're the people who spend their lives making this community better and making me feel a little bit like I felt when I was back in the Army. Last person I want to mention, who's also on that wall out there, one of the newest members of the class, Fran Hotchkiss, was nominated just this year. I mentioned her for a couple of reasons. One, I read actually the nomination last night. 45 years of selfless service to the Brandon Township Library. Two, more importantly, I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's a lot of people in this room who learn to read and learn to love books because of Story Hour. And then third, and I think this is the most important maybe actually, she's on this board and that's why she's here tonight. Right? So that's like the trifecta of being a great person, right? All three of those things. And the reason I mentioned Fran, not only is she on the wall out there, but she's here tonight. And if we're looking for examples of leadership, yes, it is nice sometimes to have pictures on the wall and names that you can Google or try to memorize, right? But it's more important to be able to just look around to your left and right and see the leaders among us. She's one of them. This entire board is another one. In fact, this whole building right now is filled with some of the most important selfless, dedicated leaders I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. We have representatives here from law enforcement, from politics, from civil servants from all walks of life, educators for sure, and most importantly, I think in fact, not only most importantly, but most abundantly, we have parents, which is probably the hardest job of any of the jobs that I've listed so far tonight. Right, so every now and then I think about Ortonville, I think about this community, and I think, we're just a special place where everybody is willing to help each other when they're down and go out of their way to be better than these other communities I've been in. What makes Ortonville so special? And I think the answer is, on occasion, we bring everybody together and we say, these are the people that are special. These are the leaders among us. This is what's expected of you. And a lot of us will shrug our shoulders and say, I'm just doing my job. This is just what I do. And the answer is, yeah, but it's important. And we need to call that out, we need to recognize it, we need to put it on a pedestal and say, this is what makes our community special. And if the next generation does that as well, it will continue to be a special community. And I hope that those are the values that we pass on to the next generation. And I should correct myself. A week ago, I would have hoped that that was the case. But tonight, I don't hope. Tonight, I know for sure that is the case. We'll pass those values on to the next generation. And I wish I could stand up here and talk about all 200 of you in this room who were recognized for doing great things. Obviously, I can't. But I have heard a few stories the past couple of days of some pretty remarkable people. I don't know names, but I do know that somewhere out here in this group, somebody volunteered to coach a team as a kid, right? Without necessarily the help or guidance from parents or other adult coaches, right? That's people giving their time to coach a team. Team, the key word. other people in this group, again, I don't know names, but I understand that somebody had to overcome a lot of physical and mental adversity in order to participate on a team. Again, the word team. Right? This last one, please correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but I think I understand a young lady helped save a teacher who passed out in a room, and she quickly and decisively ran to get help and saved the day, as it were, correct? Yeah, oh my goodness, that's incredible. I know for sure I never did anything like that as a kid. So at this point, guys, I would have said, I hope that we can pass on the values in this community to the next generation, but I know for sure that it already has been. So from me, from every other adult in here, I just want to say two things. One, we are incredibly proud of you. And two, most importantly, thank you.
And I've never gotten through one of these without messing something up. I neglected to introduce our library director, Laura Frommuller. Did I miss anything else here? No, we're good? All right.
Okay, thank you. Justin, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Very, thank you. So we're going to start the awards program now, and we're going to kind of change the order just a little bit from what's in the program. We're going to actually start with the students in the base program and the high school recycling program. I'm going to let their nominators introduce them, but first I want to recognize them for the unbelievable job that they did to help put together this event. So, how many of you have had a cookie tonight? Raise your hand. All right, they made all those cookies, and they did such a fantastic job. How many of you have a program in your hand? Right, they put together and stapled and folded all the programs for us. Unbelievable amount of work that was. And then you don't have your treat bags yet, but they organized and stuffed all the treat bags that all of you are going to be receiving today. So we are so appreciative of all their hard work for us. I think we need to give them a hand. I hesitated for a second. Okay, at this time, all right, at this time I'm going to introduce Mr. Stevens to come up and introduce them. Hello? Okay, so Mr. Stevens, I'm going to ask you if you would please introduce the group that for the base program and VHS recycling.
Awesome. So at the high school, we are so lucky that we have a program here called the Adult Transition Program. That program is students that most of them have gone through Brandon High School and are continuing their education, transitioning into learning new real-world activities and those kinds of things. We're very lucky because not only did the things that Teresa said that this program does, they do all of those kinds of things throughout our whole community, not just here at Brandon High School. They do things like catering to places, to events, and those kinds of things. They go out in the community and work in the community for all of us sitting here today. And as a Brandon High School principal, to have this group at our disposal for just about anything that we need, they are there for us all the time. One of those major key things, big things, that they do is our recycling program. Imagine how much paper goes through, just paper, goes through a school district, and how much of that needs to be recycled. Not only paper, but other things like plastic and those kinds of things. So I want to recognize this group of young adults that are, many of them are here today, for all the amazing things they do in addition to our recycling program. So if you're here tonight, Teresa, how are we going to do this? Are they going to come up through these stairs here? Is that the process? Or Jeannie, is that the process?
have base.
Yeah, we have Lynn Morissette first, and then you're,
Oh, okay.
so we can have Lynn.
Fantastic. I will then introduce Lynn Morissette. You'll come up first, introduce a couple of our students, and then I will go dig deeper into some of our students after your presentation.
What an honor and a pleasure. I hope I don't burst into tears. I get emotional over things like this. This is a beautiful community and a beautiful night. I'm thankful it wasn't raining or snowing or something like that to bring all of us together tonight to recognize all of these wonderful people here in this room. I am a classroom assistant in the base program, as Mr. Stevens described. And I have the pleasure of working with these students, doing all of the activities and more that you just heard about. So being a part of the program, you get to see and be with them on a daily basis. And I was able, once we heard about this, the Brandon Groveland Youth Organization here, the nominations, to be able to nominate the leaders in our program. There were two students among the several that I worked with that stand out to me. One is named Noah Matthews. You see his picture up here. He is not able to be with us tonight, but I will be accepting his award and his gift bag on behalf of him. I'm going to read what I nominated, the words that I used to nominate Noah. Working with this student most days throughout the week, I observe this well-mannered student reaching out to assist his co-workers, teammates, on a regular and frequent basis. Noah is typically the first in our group to step up and volunteer to lend a helping hand on anything. He is open-minded and eager to learn new things always. His sincere aim is to support and please the people who surround him. He is truly a team player, as is it Quisenberry? Thank you, by the way, to you for your service to our country, and thank you for pointing out the importance of team, being a part of a team. So truly, Noah is a team player with the confidence and ability to lead. He will work double shifts through his lunch break to cover in our school store, the Hawk's Nest, where we have an awesome coffee shop. That's also the skills that our kids learn. They're learning how to be awesome baristas. And so whenever he's shorthanded, Noah will step up, and he is quickly developing the skills to become a barista, and then he'll hopefully eventually take these skills out into our beautiful Brandon community and work at Tim Hortons, Tropical Foodie, anywhere around this town. He would blend in very nicely. And then the next student I nominated, her name is Tessa Cramer. Tessa, upon meeting her, I've been working in the base program now for a few years, pre-COVID, and she is one of the most beautiful people that you are ever going to want to meet. Tessa's beauty radiates from within her. I get to work with her in quite a few different work environments, and I have observed her assisting and volunteering to assist others, namely her teammates here, but I know that Tessa is also very active in her church community and volunteers in that way as well. And to me, I've always said that if I could nominate Tessa to be on the cover of People magazine as one of the most beautiful people in the world, I would do that, because she did that to me. And to me, she embodies the example of a leader in service to others. So I would like to recognize Tessa and have her please approach the stage this evening. The right way is this way. And I don't know from this point
I'm so good at the research too. And thank you, Mr. Stevens. Yeah, and we'll bring the book. I apologize.
Great job. Now for the program that I was talking about, which also includes Tessa Cramer as well. They do a lot of different things, but I'm going to focus right now on our recycling program that recycles for our school. You see dumpsters out back. Those dumpsters will fill up within a week's time. So as I call your name, if you are here tonight, come on up. Come on up these stairs just like Tessa did, walk across, and then come down here and receive your bag. So if you are here, stand up, come on up, Donovan Adams, Amanda Weaver, Jadisha Boyle, Peyton Burrow, Juwan Dudley, Zachary King, Lydia Lopez, Jacob Lucas, Caleb Marquez, Noah Matthews, Cheyenne McDaniels-Morris, and Michael Rowland. As our students are making it to the stage, for those of you that are going to come up here and present tonight, know we've been having some microphone issues. The reason is the bottom here, if you press it in, it'll go off. So try to handle the microphone not touching the bottom of the microphone. And there's many people that will be presenting later tonight.
Okay, at this time, we're now presenting the Gold Star Awards. So in our program, you'll see them. Each of these 7 students being recognized will be introduced by the individual who nominated them. So if you are one of the people who nominated, please, kind of watch and head up here close to the time that it's your time. In addition to the awards, sheets, and yard signs that all the students are going to receive, these 7 students will also be getting a $10 gift certificate from the DEA, and this money can be used in our local businesses, and they also will be receiving a plaque that can be displayed at their homes. So we're going to begin with Stephanie Mackey, who will tell you all about Tyler Bowman.
Hi there. I'm Stephanie Mackey, and tonight I'm here to tell you about a sophomore at Brandon High School and recognize him for his exceptional service and outstanding example to 5th and 6th grade boys. Tyler Bowman agreed to coach the 5th and 6th grade boys Jets basketball team, which began on January 10th and ran for 8 weeks. The group met for an hour on Mondays and Wednesday evenings at Oakwood Elementary, where Tyler, as a 10th grader, single-handedly planned and managed hour-long practices, which included physical fitness, conditioning, plays, and fun competitions for approximately 20 individuals. The team, made up half and half 5th and 6th grade boys, was playing in a 6th grade league. The teams they played against were extremely competitive. They played on Saturdays, and more than one Saturday they had what was a doubleheader, or 2 games in one day. This would require more than 5 or 6 hours of Tyler's time. They traveled to Flint to play, and often had an hour break in between the games. The other teams were older, and it showed. They had tough competition, sometimes from the other coaches, but Tyler remained a positive role model for his team, as well as the parents, who he sometimes had to put in check regarding the league's rules. Tyler's been a positive role model to his team members, and many of them showed up to support him playing at his JV high school snowcoming event. It's rare to find a teenager that is so willing to give up their personal time to help others. Tyler really went above and beyond for the boys. All of the families on his team benefited from his tireless efforts. Tyler, will you please join me on the stage?
Okay, next we have Kate Holloway, who's going to be was nominated by Andrea Austin. So Kate, will you come up also at the same time?
When the nomination request came out for the awards, there were 4 categories that all of us that have nominated kids here will recognize these categories. Their exceptional service to others, achievement by an individual who has overcome personal challenges, who's a person who has set an example for others, or a person who has demonstrated heroism, or outstanding humanitarian act. So when I read the description of the 4 different categories, I felt that Hayden qualified for at least 2, if not 3 of them. So immediately it came to my mind. So Hayden is a senior here at Brandon High School, and back in July, he's going about his days and working in the summer. And I hope you don't mind that I go into this a little bit. He started having some tingling in the bottoms of his feet, and just figured it was from working hard all day. And then a couple days later, that tingling in his feet started to move up his legs a little bit. So he was on a camping trip with his friends, called Mom and said, Mom, I needed an appointment on Monday. That was on, I think, Thursday, he called him on. And then by Sunday, that condition started to move on up his body to something that was strikingly wrong. So you guys went to the hospital, and by Sunday, I believe you had to be sedated, and you didn't wake up again until Tuesday. So when Hayden woke up on Tuesday, he was completely paralyzed from the neck down. And all of us were in a frenzy. Nobody knew what was happening, and it was probably the scariest week that any of us had experienced. So Hayden, always with a smile on his face, Mom's texting pictures, and he's always got a smile. And see, when you see this picture, oh, there it is! That smile from the hospital. So Hayden, not knowing what this was, I mean, this is a mystery illness. We still don't know exactly what it was. Hayden, a kid, sitting in this bed, doesn't know what's going to happen. Are you ever going to walk again? We don't know. By Friday, he had a little bit of walking back, but he had to commit to then a month of 3 times a week physical therapy. But you just kept it together, kept a smile on your face, and kept being positive. Now, Hayden, surviving that incredible challenge, Hayden has also been a 4-year player on the Brandon varsity soccer team. And in July, that's when you're getting ready to try out for your team, you're building your team together and starting your season. So Hayden, obviously, with this condition, was not able to be there at those initial practices, but he kept going to physical therapy. I'm going to be on that team. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. He did. He tried and tried every day. By the time we had our first game up at that tournament, he was there and he was on that field. So, but I want to talk about what that means for Katie to be on the field, because I am a mother of a child who was also on that team. There were 7 freshmen and sophomores on that varsity team, and when you have a freshman or a sophomore on a varsity team, it's kind of scary. And Kate knows this because he started on varsity as a freshman. So Kaden, on his own personality, saw all 7 of those youngsters who were on this team for the first time against some really big boys. Took all of these kids under their wing, and the moment they took the field, he was instantly calling to these teammates, encouraging these teammates, constantly. You always heard his voice. On that field, he never came off the field, he was always on the field. Helping out our brand new goalie, helping out our brand new defender, our new guys up in the middle and up top. He's not a captain. That wasn't necessarily his job. That's just Kaden's personality. He's a leader. He is a defender on the team, and he doesn't just defend the soccer goal. He defends his teammates. He defends his family. He defends his friends. He is a caretaker. So, once again, when I saw the 4 categories here, I feel like this is a perfect place for you to be. And I'm so glad that you're giving him this Gold Star Award because this kid absolutely deserves it. Congratulations, Katie.
Thank you. Our next person was nominated by Esther Skiba, and it's Adrian Ireland. He's not here this evening, so I'll just read to you what she went ahead and submitted for him. So Adrian is in the Scouts. He's a Weeblo. He plays soccer. He skis on Friday evenings. He's a member of the Junior PGA Golf Association and loves fishing with his grandpa. His neighbor got him started working a vegetable stand, and then he took it over and ran with it. He grows vegetables, and he gets vegetables from 2 local farmers to sell. With the money he makes he helps others. At Christmas, he helped 5 families with complete meals and gifts for the children. He also purchased flu shots at Rite Aid for the elderly. They actually are $49 a piece, they're not free. So he also participated in the teens and seniors rocking and raking. He's already making plans to help disadvantaged kids get into sports programs that he enjoys by selling his vegetables again this season. So that was Adrian Ireland, and he will be receiving a Gold Star Award. Our next person on the list is, hold on a second, Lucas Lansky, and he was nominated by Kim Zernick. So, the 2 of you, thank you.
I found out last week that he gets a gold award, which was really cool. My personal son, he was 12 years old, so it's quite an honor. I want to tell you a little bit about Lucas. He's a junior at Groveland High School. He's a youth representative for Groveland Youth Assistant, acting as the liaison between Groveland High School and the DGYA. Lucas volunteered for Box City, an overnight homeless awareness event, to raise money and items for Grace Center. He is a member of the National Honor Society, as well as the St. Anne Youth Ministry Leadership Team. Lucas attended both the National Catholic Youth Conference and RISE Conference to gain more knowledge of his Catholic faith. He attended Come Encounter Christ and served at our Valentine dinner for St. Wilma and St. Anne adults. He volunteered at Grace Center Homeless Shelter and Martin Luther King Day of Service to benefit multiple charities. He helps out many senior citizens with yard work just on his own time, as well as rocking and raking, and he shovels at our church with the snow. Lucas enjoys helping those in need and loves being involved with his youth group friends that share the same faith and values. Please begin.
Next up, we have Mary Staten, who nominated Lillian Mae Meyer. Oh, okay. Coy Stewart nominated Lillian Mae.
I'm not sure if Lillian is here, but Lillian, if you, oh, there you are. Here. All right, I am super excited to be able to be here and give this award to present it to Lillian, and we're going to have Mary come on up with her. So Lillian is a second grader at Oakwood. It's going to be stand up here so you can see. You see behind that. So Lillian is a second grader at Oakwood, and she attends our Latchkey program after school. And I had the honor of nominating her for her act of bravery and quick thinking in an emergency situation that was pretty serious. So Lillian was the last student left, weren't you? You were the last student left at Latchkey a couple of months ago, and when she was there with Mrs. Staten experienced a medical emergency that left her unconscious. And during that time, Lillian had to really think quickly and think about what the best move on her part would be to help Miss Mary. And so she left the Latchkey gym area where we have all the kids. She went just all around the building until she could find an adult to help her. And she found Miss Ann. And Miss Ann is one of our custodians in the evening. She found her in the art room. And then Miss Ann and Lillian together got some emergency assistance for Miss Mary. It was really, really important and special. So thank you so much to Lillian. Miss Mary, and we couldn't be prouder of you. Nice work.
I would like to thank Lillian myself because I'm the person that she helped. I'm a dad guy. I love to care. I love to work. She was there. She did what she was supposed to do. I love her so much. So good. Thank you, Lillian.
Next we have Abigail Rowe, who was nominated by Marianne Sherrod.
All right, so I have the pleasure of introducing Abigail Rowe. She is a 16-year-old sophomore here at Brandon High School. And when she was 14, just 14 years old, she reached out to me and said she had a really big idea. And I didn't realize how big until now. She
she had said to me that she had recognized that she was part of the LGBTQ community and that she didn't see a lot of support or diversity in our community. And she knew that my wife and I have a family and children and we are successful. She's actually one of the brand new firefighters here in town. And she wanted my help. She wanted me to be her mentor to bring in some more inclusion and diversity into her town so she could help other children that maybe stayed as quiet as she did for such a long time. So she talked about an event. We talked about maybe having some vendors, having a fun parade and games for the youth, just to bring in some positivity and love, very appropriate and soft and kind. And we got some local counselors like Mrs. Thrift and some people like Harvey to jump on board. We visited the fire department and Mr. Rumble and just amazing leaders within our community that wrapped their arms around her and made her feel loved and welcomed. And this small idea that she had while driving in a car one day turned into her being a business owner. She now owns her own nonprofit organization. She is receiving sponsorships from cities and towns all over Oakland County and even now further. She has already done speaking events at many schools. Our next one is at Henry Ford College. She is doing TV interviews. We have some podcasts that she's hopefully going to be speaking on. And all the funds that she is raising, her plan is to put them right back here into the community. To parents, children of the community, or even that just have questions and want to feel understood or have those questions answered. She has had obviously some pushback and confusion from her peers because they don't understand. But in that face of adversity, she has held her head high. She speaks eloquently. She does not let this anger and hurt affect her. Don't make me cry. She continues with the mission because she believes that there are a lot of youth in our community that needs what she is doing, and she wants them to feel loved and supported and have that here. So join us on June 4th in downtown Groveland.
Okay, our next recipient is Nathan Starr, and he was nominated by Dan Stevens. Nathan, I don't think he's here tonight.
I don't think Nathan was able to make it tonight, but for those of you that are former Ortonville graduates, I don't know the exact time, but our greenhouse hasn't been up and running for probably, you guys might know this better than me, probably about 20 years. Nathan has taken it upon himself to reopen that greenhouse by doing various fundraisers throughout the community, getting student advocates, getting teacher advocates, in order to open back up that greenhouse. And I'm proud to say that this spring, that greenhouse will be opened back up, in large part because of Nathan and his efforts of raising thousands of dollars in order to restore that greenhouse. And for all of our students, because of those efforts, we will more than likely, my hope is, offering a botany class starting second semester next year. So even though he's not here, let's give Nathan a round of applause.
Okay, thank you. Next up we have Harvey Swanson Elementary School Safety Patrol, and they were nominated by Beth Mulligan, but they're going to be introduced by Jackie Long. Is Jackie Long here?
announce our fifth grade safety patrol. Our safety patrol does a lot of things at Harvey Swanson. But probably the most important thing that they do is they help get our kindergartners, our junior kindergartners, and our first graders to their buses safely. And I see the fifth graders every day out there. They have the kids in control, they're getting to their buses, getting where they're supposed to be. So fifth graders, when I call you, I'm going to start lining up over here, and then when I get done, you'll start going across the stage. Okay, here we go. Shiloh Aderholt, Bentley Belcher, Mitchell Belton, Nathan Blackmer, Dior Blair, Armani Blair, Kaimani Blair, William Bradley, Sienna Brown, Charlize Burns, Cole Castillo, Connor Klaus, Cheyenne Campo, Lola Campo, Lucas Dean, William Fruhan, Adrian Godfrey, Aaron Greer, Jacob Heyer, Sammy Hernandez Serratos, Clara Howden, Benjamin Johannes, Sloan Plano, Cassidy Lowe, Natalia Mastriani, Abigail McLaughlin, Bryce Nicholson, Jocelyn Ramirez Scribner, Sophia Randall, Amara Bremsey, Owen Rochester, Eva Schmaltz, Drew Sheldon, Hunter Sprinkle, Cody St. James, Addison Stanford, Camden Stokowski, Nolan Suter, Gabriella Sweeter, Juliana Welling, Michaela Wilton, and Ryan Zock.
If you just want to get your picture taken, you know, like. Okay, next I'll be announcing the student council for Wisconsin. Our student council does many things. This year the big project has been to clean up our playground, pick up the trash. There's been a lot of things out there, especially masks. They help to clean our bathrooms and they help to decorate all our front office. So I'm proud to have these third and fourth graders come on up. They're going to do exactly the same thing that we just saw the safety patrol do. All right, come on up when I call your name. Carson Octolina, Morgan Batten, Addison Beltrame, Abigail Long, Neil Campos, Brady Kramer McTee, Cruz Campo, Renee Cook, Easton Cosbit, Elizabeth Dias, Alien Lorenzo, Mercedes Dudley, Olivia Hyman, Ella Fitzwater, Lindsay Fitzwater, William Fitzwater, Michaela Guerrero, Kaden Heist, Melody Hampton, Luke Harris, J.C. Hartman, Samantha Hutchins, Elliot Jeanette, Lyric Hoot, Adeline Willinger, Amelia McGinnis, Peyton Menzies, Bailey Morgan, Madeline Painter, Samantha Pinkos, Eli Pinkley, Elena Pruitt, Gabriella Pipilan, Sophia Redmond, Austin Rem, Josie Rokenbach, Juliana Rohrbach, Logan Rose, Justin Turner, Avery Smith, Callie Stokowski, Lucy Thompson, Ella Britt, Alexis Tucker, and Parker Ross. So Avery, this is what Mrs. Swanson said about you. She said, since the beginning of the year, I've seen Avery come into Mrs. Chelsea's preschool classroom and offer to help in any way she can. Avery's mom, Kristen, is the associate teacher of this classroom. Every day before Avery goes off to her 4th grade class, she's busy helping her mom and Mrs. Chelsea with anything that needs to get done before the children arrive at school. I've often seen her by the students' cubbies when the children first arrive to offer a smile or a hello. Avery's been an asset to this classroom and helping the teachers and children prepare for their day. Congratulations. Next is Emma Olinger, and she was nominated by Sarah Campbell. Is Emma here tonight? Emma? Okay. Ms. Campbell is not here tonight, so I'm going to read what Ms. Campbell said. Okay. So, Ms. Campbell said, Emma is a student in my preschool class this year. I have been teaching for 7 years, and I can honestly say that Emma is one of the kindest and most thoughtful students I have ever had. For those who do not know, all of Brandon preschool program classrooms are full inclusion, meaning general education and special education students are 100% together 100% of the time. This year is Emma's first school experience. Throw in a pandemic, and it's safe to say that Emma has not had much exposure to students or people who are not pretty much like her. From the very first week of school, even though she was very nervous, Emma showed all of us that she has a heart of gold by befriending one of the special needs students in our classroom. This student is nonverbal, and while they have never actually had a conversation with one another, Emma is always thinking of ways to include them and make each interaction positive. For example, this student loves the character Mickey Mouse, and we, her teachers, noticed that she began to wear a lot of Mickey Mouse outfits to school. When we asked her why, Emma replied, because Mickey Mouse makes that student happy. And everyone should be happy, Miss Sarah. It's not easy to treat everyone the same and with kindness, especially when they don't look like you, talk like you, or act like you. But Emma does this without a second thought, and for that reason, I believe she should be recognized in her community. All the Brandon preschool program classrooms are full inclusion, and Darius has formed a great friendship with one of our ASB students who has a hard time joining others in play. Darius helps him by engaging with them at work time with the student's particular interest and working with him throughout the entire time. He shows patience when the friend doesn't always answer his questions or respond to his statements. He's always willing to share and help solve a problem that the student is having trouble. Just the other day at snack, Darius noticed this particular student just staring at his snack because he was unable to open it. Darius came over and said, "Here, I can help you. Sometimes these are hard." Without prompting, Darius always shows a kindness towards this student and is always willing to help. He also shows this kindness and patience with the rest of the students in our classroom. I am so proud I received the opportunity to teach Darius this year and am able to see what an extraordinary student he is. So good job, Darius. At this time, I'm going to ask the principal of Oakwood Elementary. No, actually, it's Sue Moore. Is Mrs. Moore here? Mrs. Moore, okay. Mrs. Moore is going to tell you about students that she nominated. And then Stewart is Mrs. Stewart. Yeah, you're going to be up next. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's great. Okay, I'll let you guys do it. Okay.
Okay, can I have Maisie Todd come on up if she's here, Charlotte Skopek, Samantha Eggleston, Jocelyn Waddy, and Lily Menard. Come on up to the stage. And come stand next to me. I nominated these girls because of their community service through Girl Scouts and their willingness to help out at school. In addition to doing community service activities such as picking up trash in the community and making blankets to share with another troop, the girls assist with our junior kindergartners at Oakwood, gently and responsibly helping them go out for recess after lunch, entertaining them out at recess, and then assisting them as they line up. And Lily, actually, she always volunteers to hold the door almost every single day as they head back inside. Thank you, girls, for being role models of kindness and for your contributions to the lives of the little ones.
They also help out with our So, you're ready?
They not only strive to level up their own game, but are there to support others with a kind word and a helping hand. So congratulations, you guys.
For exceptional citizenship, there was no doubt in my mind that I would nominate Cody Leon. Cody is extremely helpful, kind, and hardworking. He always goes above and beyond, whether in his academic performance, interactions with a peer or adults, and just in helping out around the classroom. He's always one of the first to volunteer to help, no matter the task. Many times he initiates his own positive interactions by rendering aid to a peer on the playground, helping others as they're doing their learning, or just asking is there something he can do to better the classroom. He maintains a positive attitude and shares this positive energy on a daily basis. Cody just recently became a big brother for the first time, and Mrs. Bowers knows that he will teach and encourage his little brother to become just as awesome as he is. There is no doubt that Cody will continue to develop into a hard-working, positive young man, and she says she can't wait to see what his future holds. So congrats to Cody, and I'll make sure he gets in.
Okay, the next group we have are the Brandon Middle School Student Leadership Group. So if you are in this group, you know I'm going to call your name. Mr. Tucker nominated this group, and Mr. Tucker was unable to be here tonight, so he asked me to read this. And I'm going to call the kids up to line up first, and then I'll tell you what he said. We have Carter Aquilina, Cooper Aquilina, Haley Knowles, Alonso Cruz Canales, Caitlin DeWise, Sean Dudek, Lillian, I'm so sorry, Elise, Amy Greer, Danielle Hearns, Bryce Heberly, Aiden Marino, Anthony Maroli, Ryan Orlikowski, Amelia Quick, Peyton Smith, and Annabelle Travato. So Mr. Tucker said, and you can just come right up and then just sort of stand up here. All right, so Mr. Tucker had this to say to you guys. He said, the student leaders at Brandon Middle School do a wide variety of projects that benefit the entire student body. Some of these activities are assisting the classroom teacher with the weekly Tuesday school-wide lessons, organizing of the Fall Community Service Project, organizing several fundraisers like the Thanksgiving OSEP food collection, Christmas toy drive collection, and selling candy cane grants and Valentine's Day sucker grants. They also determine the spirit days for the year, keep the student showcase and bulletin board updated every month, assist with the March Reading Month activities and charity fundraiser, and recognize the BMS teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week with small gifts showing the teachers that they are appreciated for their efforts throughout the year. That's a lot of work. This year's leaders have started a tradition at Brandon Middle School by creating an 8th grade banner that will show their legacy for future classes. The banners will continue to be created by each 8th grade class that comes through Brandon Middle School and displayed in the cafeteria. These are some pretty great students that help out our school and community. So congratulations all of you. At this time, would you like to come up and introduce the be nominated?
So I chose to nominate the Feminist Club. So when I call your name up, I've got Lillian Harvey, president, Madeline Wood, vice president, Caitlin Sullivan, secretary, and Natalie Morgan, so this group of girls, they are all, in addition to being enrolled in some really challenging and rigorous classes, STEM classes, AP, they also go above and beyond in their involvement in sports and activities, band, tennis, just to name a few. They also decided that they saw a need for a club to address some issues that some of the girls in their school community might be facing, and so they established the Feminist Club, making an effort to solve a problem that they saw, an issue. And so they took it upon themselves, they formed a club in spite of all of the difficulties this year threw at them. They faced adversity with
a lot of grace and determination, and just added another thing to their plate, took it on, and it's been a resource for a lot of girls in the school. So, thank you.
Next couple of kids that are going to be recognized were nominated by Brian Cramer for assistant seniors. Our Braden Cramer McTee and Brennan Johnson. Are either of them here this evening? Braden or Brennan? Okay, well, I will read to you what the nominators said about them because it's pretty cool. In October of last year, Brennan and Braden volunteered to help a farmer harvest his pumpkin patch. Some of you might be familiar with the pumpkin patch. They each spent 6 hours picking, carrying, sorting, and organizing the pumpkins for the farmer. His name is Keith Bailey, and he is a double amputee, and every year he asks for volunteers to help harvest his pumpkins at Bailey's Farm Market in Clarkston. So that is what they were being recognized for. At this time, I'm going to ask Doug Borbaugh. Is Doug here? Yep, there he comes. And he's going to introduce the students that he nominated. Tell us a little bit more about the goals.
Hi, I'm Doug Borbaugh. I'm from Oates. We are actually offering alternative therapy with Smilesbury, equine-based therapeutic services, and therapeutic horseback riding for individuals in need, such as veterans, individuals suffering from PTSD, anxiety, depression, physical and cognitive impairments. Pretty much anybody in need, we help out. I took over in September here at Oates and moved to the farm. My girls were very new to farm life, never having really any experience with horses or any other farm animals for that matter. But they started volunteering right off the bat. Not afraid to get their hands dirty. Hannah, my oldest, young younger girl, started learning how to groom horses and tack them, lead them for classes. So she was in volunteering leading horses for our therapeutic classes on Tuesdays and Saturday mornings up at 6:30 in the morning on Saturdays to help feed and learn how to help those in need. Now, Juliana, she is a little bit young to volunteer in our therapeutic classes, so she will be found in the chicken coop most days. She just took a very good liking to the chickens and make sure they're healthy and producing lots of eggs to raise money for the organization so we can serve more individuals in need. I'm very proud of them. Thank you, Jeannie, for contacting us and encouraging us to nominate some of our hard-working volunteers here in Brandon. Thank you very much.
All right, we're gonna go with the students who were nominated by Dennis Hoffman, the DFW commander, and then we'll go back to the one we just are putting on pause for a second. So, Mr. Hoffman.
Thank you. The group of ladies that or young ladies I should say, nominated for the patriotism and service to the community and veterans of the community mainly. They're from Girl Scout Troop 76-460. They're great community service and patriotism, especially the community veterans. They help place over 600 wreaths on veterans' graves and pick them up later in the snow and cold weather. And without their help, it probably wouldn't have gotten done. They were also great help during the September Fest. They worked the counter and helped serve the food to the customers. And when their shift was up, most of them didn't want to leave. They wanted to stay and work longer. And I give a lot of credit to the troop leader, Lisa Radke, for her leadership. And she has instilled a lot of good patriotism and work ethic in these girls. I will call their names. Aubrey Wise, first one. I hear a couple of them aren't here tonight, but we have Peyton Grant, not here. Meadow McBride, Madeline McGraw, Patience McGraw, Carolyn Ripley, I know I'm going to butcher this name. I forgot how to say it out. Miriam Bazinski. Close enough. Abigail Radke. And Jessica Swift. These are ladies that are outstanding examples of our teachers.
Okay, at this time I'm going to introduce Courtney McLaren, the president of the DEA, which is the Downtown Development Authority.
Good evening, everyone. Courtney McLaren, president of the Downtown Development Authority. Nobody told me I had to give a speech this evening, so I'll make it nice, quick, and just say that without volunteers, the DDA can't do what we do. And we're very fortunate to have so many of our student council members volunteer with us whenever we ask, including Cece Sulis and Betty Heiser, who couldn't be with us this evening. But anytime I've ever asked for volunteers, these two have been first one's there, last one's there. So we just want to say thank you.
Okay, our next group that's being recognized was nominated by Justine Hubbard, and they are Richard Hubbard, Gabriel Hubbard, Dylan Hubbard, Madeline Hazer, and Lucy Thompson. So if those students are here, if you could make your way up here, that'd be great. Let me read to you what you were nominated for, and so the Hubbard family is a consistent dog foster home. Gabriel, Bridget, and Dylan all help with caring for and finding homes for dogs in need. Their goal is to place dogs in forever loving homes. Bridget cares for the underdogs and provides a decompression environment by sitting quietly in her room with a dog or a puppy until it is more comfortable. Gabriel provided love when a sweet dog named Patty was scheduled to be euthanized. Gabriel spent time petting Patty and giving him treats, including a McDonald's cheeseburger, and knowing that that was what Patty would remember. Dylan provides care as well, and he plays football, basketball, and soccer. He He gives each team he's on his best effort, adding energy and positivity while being kind and building up his teammates. His coaches continually praise him for his attitude and effort. Gabriel, Bridget, and Dylan make a difference in the lives of the dogs they foster and families that benefit from their sacrifices taking care of their future dogs. And then on Saturday, April 24th, 2021, Madeline Beecher and Lucy Thompson, two third graders from Harvey, Swanson, raised $500 in a epic fundraiser by hosting a table in front of Madeline's family's quilt shop, Maybellina's, in downtown Ortonville. They invited Bridget Hubbard to help. The girls answered questions, sold items, tended to a rescue dog named Tulip, helped find a home for Tulip, and gave an incredible amount of love to George, another adoptable puppy. Justine said she had the opportunity to meet Maddie and Lucy and witness their charisma and kindness. Their time and effort making items to sell, creating a beautiful presentation, speaking with the community and bringing awareness to the need for rescue was everything dreams were made of. They were also very incredibly welcoming to Bridget Hubbard, a student of Oakwood and Tulip's foster mom. The girls had never met before and became fast friends. Canine Rescue appreciates the efforts of all of these young people. Who is going to tell you about the girls that she nominated.
Hey everyone, I am one of the leaders of Groveland High School's only Girl Scout troop. We have 9 exceptional young ladies from 4 different schools, and I would absolutely love to go down to every single police girls, because they all do a lot of amazing things in the community. However, being a leader of high school girls is a lot like being a professional cat herder. These girls are super involved in all kinds of things: sports, cheer, theater, music, dance, who knows what else we have to hold down the job as well. So I want to acknowledge Erin Downey and Megan McGowan as awesome people who make contributions to our community on a regular basis, but they didn't have to be accountable for the project that we're presenting here. I want to have Maddie Waddy, Abby Rowe, and Brittany Swift, come on up here. These girls, along with my daughter Lindsay, they undertook a project here called Brandon's Blessing Box this year. It's part of a movement called the Milk Free Pantry. The model of take what you need, leave what you can. It's a huge weatherproof cabinet sits outside the senior center. This Bindig takes care of it for us, and people can leave non-perishable foods and other necessities, and others can take what they need out of it. The entire project took about 5 months last year from start to finish, and it came out from each one of these girls contributed to that project. So, you guys have already heard all about Abby and her overwork project and that amazing undertaking. But in addition to this huge undertaking, she helped build this blessing box, and she also spent time volunteering at other events like the Ladies Right Out in town. Maddie is the person that I can always count on. Anytime I'm asked to bring my girls to participate in a community event, Maddie's the first one to raise her hand and volunteer to be here. She helped out at the Ladies Night Out event. We spent a long, exhausting day with Erin and Lindsay and Brittany from about, what time did we meet? Rocking at 8 a.m. I think our girls got done at about 6:30 p.m. Worked all day long last year. And then spent a great deal of time at our house helping to design, locate, and install the blessing box. In addition, she volunteers with time to coach PJV cheerleaders throughout the fall. She does all these things with an amazing attitude, a smile on her face the entire time, and always make sure that everybody around her is having a great time serving others. And Brittany Swift is the true definition of an outstanding public servant. She's always at the ready to help anyone in need, complete any task that's asked of her. She also volunteered for Ladies Night Out, worked with Rodney and Reagan, and she was one of the primary assistants in the lesson box. She worked at Lakeview Community Church clothing closet anytime that she was asked, and I often needed a lot of help. And also in addition to that, she did a lot of projects at her own church. So her outreach to others in the community is absolutely unmatched. My daughter Lindsay is not here right now. She just got off the soccer field. Woo-hoo, they won 3-0. 3-1, sorry. So she's not able to be here right now, but being my daughter, she gets roped into a lot of volunteering. She put a lot of extra hours into that blessing box. She wakes up early, a lot of times on Saturday morning to go volunteer at the farmer's market. She jumps in whenever she's needed at the clothing closet. She sorted a lot of underwear and socks. She spent a long day at the Rocky and Raking, and she also was involved with the Michigan Rescue League. So, Girl Scouts is obviously a service organization, but these young ladies have gone above and beyond typical Call of Duty in serving their community, and I'm beyond proud to acknowledge all 4 of them for demonstrating helpfulness, courage, strength, caring, a sense of responsibility, and definitely making the world a better place.
At this time, I'd like to have Melissa Ferguson, who nominated a people as well. Close. Samantha Eagleson, Samantha Hutchinson, I think my whole troop is just about together over there. You know who you are, come ladies on up. Lillian is not here tonight. Maisie is not here, Charlotte Kotek is here, Donald Wadi, Avery Smith, Abigail Vaughn, and Harper Hogarth. There we are. We have a group of 10. We have 5 of our girls that have been together for 5 years. 2 have been 4 years, 1 has been 2, and 2 just joined this year. You wouldn't know it. These ladies accept each other just like they've been together the whole time. I'm so proud of them. Anything we ask of them, they do. Pick up garbage, pick up sticks, pick up anything they see. We've made ornaments for the community, and I look forward to these girls being willing to contribute for us. And I'm very proud of them. Thank you. Okay, so we made it to the very last one, and I had some stuff prepared to say at the very end, but there's not going to be hardly good luck. But we're very, very honored to be recognizing the teens and seniors that did rocking and raking. And although you are last on the program, you're definitely worth it. Could Ms. Fagan come up and recognize the students that were nominated by her?
Thank you. This is a program that's been going on for quite a few years. There's a lot of need out there for our senior citizens, and the youth really comes through. But it's not just the youth that needs to be thanked. It's the parents, the grandparents, the volunteers, the adults. You know, everybody pulls together, and it's something that's really neat. Like the blessing box. It's used a lot. Okay, if everybody would come up as I call your name. Jalen Blair, Jackson Blair, Natalie Blair, Kurt Brielot, I'm sorry if I'm massacring names, Lance Brielot, Lindsay Claxton, Aaron Downey, Julia Fitzwater, Daniel Geiser, Olivia Hansen, Adrian Ironman, Lucas Lansky, Herbert Martin, Jesse McLennan, Christopher Miner, Madeline Meisner, Nicholas Munoz Martinez, Joel Redburn, Paulina Rivera, Reagan Steffi, Cecilia Suliz, Brittany Swift, Dominic Vincentini, Natalie Vincentini, and Madeline Lottie. And some of these people I will see the day after tomorrow, because that's when we're doing it this year, so we're hoping for no rain. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you to all of you that stayed to the very end, and I'd say let's give a big hand to all of our 189 students. Parents, you have every reason to be proud of these students, and students, you need to recognize that you have very wonderful parents that support you. And remember to thank them for being there to encourage you to go above and beyond. They give you rides to places, they feed you, they listen to you, and they cherish you. So just remember to be thankful for them. And the community is a better place because of the efforts of all of you, students and parents alike. The centerpieces that are on the tables are yours to take home. We just ask that if you feel like you would like to leave a donation, there are donation jars at the exit tables. You can donate whatever you feel led to take to donate, but the centerpieces are like mementos, so if you're here, there enough maybe that you would like to take one home. The BGYA wants to remind you that each of you receives three things, right? You got an awards packet, it's a packet of certificates. Read them, they're really cool, they're all different. There's a bag of treats, enjoy your treats. And then there's a sign, I see a lot of you have them. When you get home tonight, go put that sign in your yard, right? And then you need to let the community, let your neighbors all know that an outstanding student lives in that house. Your neighbors probably already know it, but this is just some way for you to advertise it. And thank you all for coming, and go on out, continue all the good work that you've been doing. Remember, positivity and kindness are